early on.
Yeah, I mean, she always stays neutral. You know, she doesn't get rushed. Her pace, her poise, her decision making.
The Indiana Fever's 2025 season took a dramatic turn when news broke on Monday that their generational talent, Caitlin Clark, would miss at least the next 2 weeks after being diagnosed with a quad strain. For a team still learning how to win, still forging its identity in the high-stakes world of the WNBA, the absence of its brightest star both on and off the court poses challenges far deeper than any single box score can reveal. Caitlin Clark, the face of a franchise undergoing a renaissance, has been at the center of every highlight, headline, and hope surrounding the Fever's 2025 campaign. Her injury, while not projected to be long-term, is nonetheless monumental in timing and scope. It will sideline her for a minimum of 4 games, starting with Wednesday's crucial matchup against the Washington Mystics. The injury doesn't just pull a player from the rotation, it temporarily removes the engine, the floor general, and the heartbeat of a team still defining itself. The last time Clark missed a game, it dates all the way back to her freshman year at the University of Iowa. Her streak of 185 consecutive games played, from college hardwoods to WNBA arenas, has been snapped. That streak wasn't just a testament to her physical durability but also to her relentless drive, a mental toughness that's defined her career. And now, that Iron Woman run meets a sudden pause. For Clark herself, this marks a new chapter, an unfamiliar and uncomfortable one. She's spent her entire collegiate and early professional career as the centerpiece of every offense, every game plan, every opponent's defensive scheme. From the moment she arrived in Iowa City, defenses collapsed on her like waves, yet she still emerged with NCAA scoring records, signature logo threes, and an aura of invincibility. That aura followed her into the WNBA, where despite some early shooting struggles, she was averaging 19 points, 6 rebounds, and a league-leading 9.3 assists per game, figures that placed her firmly in the early MVP conversation. Her presence made the Fever relevant again, both statistically and culturally. Now, for the first time since high school, Clark must watch from the sidelines, reduced to a role she's never played, that of an observer. And what does her absence mean for the Fever? In short, a recalibration of everything. Indiana came into the season with high expectations, not necessarily to win a championship, but to contend, to be in the playoff mix, and to take that next big step as a franchise. With Clark as their leader and Aaliyah Boston anchoring the paint, the team was supposed to blossom in real time, and in moments, it did. There were flashes of brilliance, games where Clark's court vision and Boston's finishing created a rhythm nearly impossible to defend. But the team also showed its inexperience, dropping winnable games, struggling with turnovers, and occasionally getting overwhelmed by elite opposition. Still, the belief remained that with Clark leading the charge, they could figure it out. Now, they'll need to figure it out without her. The first and most immediate question for head coach Christy Sides is this: who replaces Clark in the starting lineup? That answer won't come easy. No one on the roster replicates her skill set. Lexi Hull, a capable defender and spot-up shooter, might slide in to fill the void in the starting 5, but asking her to take over playmaking duties is unrealistic. Kelsey Mitchell, the veteran guard with a scoring-first mindset, may take on a greater ball-handling role, but distributing and orchestrating an offense isn't her natural game. Nola Smith has shown flashes of brilliance in the front court, and might be leaned on for more offensive responsibility. But the truth is, replacing Clark is not about finding a 1-for-1 swap, it's about adjusting the system entirely. The Fever's offense, which ran largely through Clark's high pick-and-rolls, her deep shooting gravity, and her pace-setting in transition, will now need to rely on more traditional half-court sets and shared decision-making. Every player will have to step up in her own way, not just statistically, but mentally, and that includes Aaliyah Boston. The reigning Rookie of the Year, Boston has already proven she belongs among the league's elite bigs. Her chemistry with Clark had been developing well, with the two forming a promising inside-out duo. Now, Boston will likely see more double teams, more physical play in the post, and more pressure to score and facilitate from the block. It's a daunting task, but one she's built for. Boston is not just a skilled player, she's a leader, quiet and determined. This is her opportunity to show she can carry a team when needed. Meanwhile, bench players like Erica Wheeler, Temi Fagbinal, and Katie Lou Samuelson will also be expected to contribute more consistently. Depth, which has been a concern for Indiana all season, will be tested like never before. Off the court, the implications are just as large. Caitlin Clark is not just a basketball player, she's a phenomenon. Her games have driven ratings, sold out arenas, and brought unprecedented attention to the WNBA. Her jersey is a top seller. Social media buzzes every time she steps onto the floor. When Clark plays, people watch. Her absence is not just a loss. For the Fever, it's a loss for the league. WNBA executives, broadcasters, and sponsors will all be watching closely. In many ways, the Fever were carrying the national interest of the WNBA on their backs because of her. That spotlight now dims, if only temporarily, and the rest of the league must carry the load of maintaining that energy. For Clark personally, the injury brings new challenges. Rehab is not glamorous. It's slow, tedious, and mentally taxing for an athlete like Clark who thrives on competition, intensity, and rhythm. Being forced to sit, to rest, to wait, is a cruel kind of punishment. But it may also provide a valuable reset. The physical toll of playing nearly non-stop since her college days has been immense. This break, however unplanned, could serve as a moment of healing and mental clarity. It gives her a chance to step back, observe, and perhaps even refine aspects of her leadership. Clark has already been seen during games animatedly engaging with teammates and coaches from the bench. She hasn't disappeared into the background. She's stayed locked in, vocal, and present. That attitude will be crucial not just for morale, but for the Fever's continued growth. From a fan perspective, the news was met with a collective gasp. Clark has quickly become a beloved figure, not just in Indiana, but across the country. Her fiery competitiveness, deep shooting range, and on-court charisma have made her a must-watch player. For Fever fans, who've endured years of rebuilding and irrelevance, she represented hope. Her injury feels like a cruel twist just as things were beginning to click, just as the team looked poised to take the next step. But sports are often defined by how teams respond to adversity. And this is a defining moment for the Fever. Can they hold the line without their star? Can they stay competitive, keep the season afloat, and position themselves for a playoff run once Clark returns? Those questions will be answered in the coming weeks. In the meantime, Wednesday's game against the Mystics will be the Fever's first test without their leader. The Mystics, though struggling, are no pushovers. Alina Dunn remains a matchup nightmare, and their defense is disciplined and physical. Indiana will have to find scoring in unconventional ways, control the tempo, and minimize turnovers, something they've struggled with even with Clark on the floor. Every possession will matter. Every player will need to be locked in. This is where the culture being built in Indiana will be tested. Christy Sides has emphasized accountability, effort, and togetherness all season long. Now, those principles must carry the team. Looking ahead, the Fever's schedule doesn't get easier. After the Mystics, they'll face playoff contenders and defensive juggernauts. Each game without Clark becomes a barometer for where this team truly stands. It's not just about wins and losses, it's about growth, chemistry, and grit. And when Clark does return, the hope is that she's coming back to a team that's battle-tested, more cohesive, and better prepared for the grind of a playoff chase. Ultimately, Caitlin Clark's injury is not the end, it's a pause, a new storyline in a career that's just beginning. If anything, it adds another layer to her legend. How she comes back, how the team rallies, how the league responds, these are the narratives that will define the rest of the Fever's season. Until then, fans will wait, teammates will grind, and the WNBA will march forward, temporarily missing its brightest star, but still fueled by the energy she helped ignite. So as the lights go up in arenas across the league and tip-offs signal new battles each night, there will be a void where Clark's magic usually resides. But that void is also an opportunity for others to rise, for stories to unfold, and for the Fever to prove they are more than just one player. And when Caitlin Clark finally returns, with her trademark intensity and unshakable confidence, the league will be ready, and so will Indiana. Because setbacks don't define legends. Comebacks do. Comebacks do.
Looked like she got a little hurt towards the end there. Is there any update on her injury?
No update. No, just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
The Indiana Fever's 2025 campaign, already steeped in transformation and expectation, has entered uncharted territory as head coach Stephanie White confirmed what fans and analysts alike had feared. Caitlin Clark's injury is more than a temporary inconvenience, it's a full-blown organizational test. With Clark sidelined due to a quad strain, the franchise faces a stretch of games where they'll be forced to redefine themselves. both tactically and emotionally, without the player who has revolutionized not only their offense but the league's public visibility. After Monday's practice, White didn't rush into a decision about who would take Clark's place in the starting lineup. She was measured, contemplative, admitting to reporters that she needed time to assess all options, review practice footage, and weigh the intangibles that statistics can't measure. And by Tuesday, the picture became clearer. White announced that veteran guard Sydney Colson would be inserted into the starting unit. It wasn't just a basketball decision, it was a philosophical one, an intentional pivot toward experience, communication, and stability over raw scoring potential. Colson, whose WNBA journey began in 2011, and who holds championship pedigree from her time with the Las Vegas Aces in 2022 and 2023, has seen it all. While she's been primarily used in spot minutes during her current stint with the Fever, her leadership, behind-the-scenes, mentorship of younger players, and cerebral approach to the game have made her a quiet but essential presence on the roster. In Clark's absence, her role becomes pivotal, not necessarily to replace Clark's offensive brilliance, but to orchestrate an offense that now must rely on structure rather than stardom. Colson's inclusion is as much about what she brings off the ball as what she delivers with it in her hands. She understands tempo, reads defenses, anticipates switches, and most importantly, Stephanie White emphasized this intangible. Praising Colson's vocal leadership, she is in every huddle that we have, whether she's on the floor or not. She sees things from that point guard position and getting us into offense. It's going to look different without the ball in Caitlin's hands. That difference is already being felt across the roster. Clark's gravitational pull, the way she bent entire defensive schemes, the way she commanded double teams even beyond the arc-created space that is now vanishing. With Clark on the floor, opponents played reactive basketball. With her off, the Fever must play proactive basketball. That's where Colson steps in. She may not bring logo threes or viral assists, but she brings clarity, poise, and orchestration at a time when chaos threatens to seep into every possession. Her ability to keep Kelsey Mitchell in an off-ball role is critical, too. Mitchell, one of the team's most reliable scorers, thrives when allowed to hunt shots and exploit mismatches without the burden of initiating every possession. With Colson facilitating, Mitchell can remain a secondary playmaker, preserving her energy for moments that matter most. Still, no one, not Colson, not White, not even the combined efforts of the Fever's bench can fill the void left by Caitlin Clark. Her absence isn't just statistical, it's atmospheric. Her range stretches defenses before she even crosses half-court. Her court vision anticipates passing lanes before they exist. Her presence alone alters the geometry of the floor. Without her, the Fever lose their most unpredictable weapon. Every team in the WNBA knew, when Clark had the ball, they had to prepare for the impossible. A three-pointer from 35 feet, a whip pass through traffic, a transition push that turned a routine rebound into an assist. That dynamic has been replaced, at least temporarily, with a more traditional attack, more screens, more half-court movement, and more reliance on execution rather than talent. It's a shift that will challenge the team's identity, but could also provide unexpected dividends in the long run. Forced to play without their superstar, the Fever's younger players will now have to grow in real time, shoulder responsibility, and develop chemistry rooted not in spectacle, but in substance. Stephanie White also hinted at another layer of experimentation during this stretch. Sophie Cunningham, primarily known for her shooting and energy off the bench, will get some opportunities to run the offense. It's not a conventional move, is a wing by nature, but it's an adaptive one. She brings grit, hustle, and toughness, and while her ball handling may not mirror Clark's wizardry, her tenacity could ignite second units and provide change-of-pace moments. It's another example of White's belief in adaptability, of her willingness to reshuffle pieces without compromising competitiveness. Cunningham's minutes at point forward may not come with highlight reels, but they could be crucial in keeping the second unit afloat and providing a bridge between rotations. This transition period will also ask more of Indiana's frontcourt. Aaliyah Boston, already one of the league's rising stars, will face heightened defensive attention. Without Clark drawing defenders to the perimeter, Boston will find herself facing more double teams, more crowded paint touches, and a greater expectation to facilitate from the block. Her growth in this period will be pivotal, not just for wins and losses, but for long-term synergy with Clark when she returns. Similarly, Nalissa Smith's ability to stretch the floor, rebound with energy, and run in transition will be critical. Smith has shown glimpses of brilliance this season, but consistency has been elusive. This is her moment to step into the spotlight and show she can be a cornerstone, not just a complement. And what of the fans, the ones who have sold out arenas, flooded social media, and made Caitlin Clark the most talked about rookie in league history? They, too, must adjust. The Fever's game will look different, feel different.